girls and boys. So, got home, and the wind is actually starting to pick up where we now have movement in the trees. So, if I'm going to get some movement in the trees, that means I'll have a good enough breeze to help dry some of that stuff down. So you can see the old rake back there. I serviced it up last night. She's all greased up and ready to rock and roll. You guys saw how I did the repairs on Little Blue, so I guess we're testing two machines at once. We're testing if my service job was good enough. If the rake don't fall apart, then it's good enough. And we'll see if my seal, that's the big one in the front axle, if it's gonna hold together. Let's get to the field and find out what happens after a couple hours worth of work. The plan here is to rake up all of the opening rounds and those rounds that take us around all the little bluffs, the sloughs, the tree bluffs, get all of that stuff raked up, because that's what was driven on as we're going back and forth. So yeah, we'll get all that stuff raked up and see what happens after that. Talk to you later. Alrighty guys, so that's what she looks like raked up. So I am still putting 2 into 1. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing or not, but if it does not bale today, because these are the opening rounds that were driven on from when we go back and forth east to west, and you get to your end pieces and you drove on it, well, that's what's packed in the ground, and that's what I need to get raked up, because that's the bad stuff right there. But anyway, the rake is working good. I'm gonna rake up all of these little friggin' bluffs out here, all this stuff. We're gonna rake all of this stuff up. And then when I get all of that done, I'll go back and I'll do the opening. We did 8 rounds, and I'll do the opening 8 rounds on the rest of the field. And the stuff through the middle that's straight back and forth, I'm not gonna rake it today. So she's a bouncy. Through some of these sloughs, she's a bouncy. Give you some raking action. We're revving at about 1675, just 1700, and doing basically 5.5 miles an hour. We're not going overly fast. Some of these areas, when this field was seeded, it was too wet through the low spots, so we couldn't get into the low spots, and those low spots are the rough spots. So she's a little bouncy. And now that I can get into some of them a little deeper, I'm doing that, but that's why I was breaking so many guards, for one, and two, it's bouncy. All you're seeing is my friggin' hand. So I'm gonna let you guys go, because it's a lot of up and down, and I'm steering and trying to hold the phone and work the hydraulic. So yeah, I'll let you go. I'll bring you guys back a little later. Alrighty guys, well, we got all the opening rounds around all these goddamn little bluffs, it's a pain in the ass. But I do believe I got them all raked up. So I'm gonna go back to the beginning of the field, and now we're gonna do, we always do 8 rounds, opening rounds, because we're cutting in tag team. It just gives us more turning radius. So I'm gonna go back to where I left off on the very first 2 rounds of the field, and we'll do 8 rounds, which will end up being 4, because I'm putting 2 into 1. And then we'll just wait and see. If I can bale some of it up today, I will. If not, cross the fingers and hope we can get her done tomorrow. Talk to you later. Alrighty guys, so it's 5:30 in the afternoon. The wind has definitely picked up. The trees are moving pretty good. I don't know if you guys can make that out, but I can see them moving. Anyways, just came out to check, and you do the 3 twist on the stem, not a friggin' chance. She's like 10 and it's still holding in the heavy spots, and the lighter spots would go, but fuck, I don't want to be ducking in and out. Grab the light stuff, and like this stuff is borderline, but it's almost, well, for the leaf it's too dry, but for the stem it would go. I should have friggin' raked the opening rounds on this next field, but hindsight's 20/20. Anywho, I'm gonna leave this thing sit for a little while longer. The wind is up, it's lots of heat. Who knows, we might be able to go yet, but give it another couple hours yet. So we'll talk to you guys later. Just to give you guys an idea on how much wind we got. See them 2 flags? They're not standing straight out, but they're out there. Now you might ask, BP, what the fuck are you doing if you can't bale? I'm gonna go back out to that field with the rake, and because we got that field split into 3 pieces, so we got piece A, piece B, and piece C, or north, center, and south. And piece B is what we cut on Monday, and I'm gonna rake up the opening rounds on that sumbitch. There's light spots and then there's heavy spots on it also, and then it gets relatively consistent as you get more into the field. So we're gonna rake that up, the opening rounds. Had a little bit of excitement here just now. We heat our home with propane, and CP stepped outside and she's like, the propane tank, she could hear a hissing noise. Well, the propane tank, the pressure relief valve popped on it. Well, we've been on propane for as long as we've been at the farm, and I have never, ever had that happen before. I've never had the pressure relief valve pop open on a propane tank. So what happens is that propane gets so hot, it'll build up pressure, and then you got to have room for expansion. It'll expand on the inside of the tank. So usually in the summertime, we'll fill the tank like in March in the past, end of March, mid-March, end of March, and by the time we get to this summer where it's really hot like we're getting now, the tank is down to, I don't know, like friggin' 50% or less even. Because you got all of April and all of May. You might not be heating 24/7 in May. But generally in April it's still quite cool and the furnace would be running. Anyways, yeah. Right now, because we switched suppliers, well, we're actually still with the same supplier, but now our actual propane supplier is also our tank rental guy. So that happened at the end of April, beginning of May, somewhere around there. It was in April when he switched tanks out. And we're at 75% full. And they never really fill the tanks more than 80%. We're only down by 5%. So yeah, it's we're basically a full tank. Anywho, got it fixed. All we had to do was run cold water over the tank and cool the propane off, and then the reset valve, it just resets on its own. So, but that's a first. Let's get to the field. Talk to you guys later. Alrighty guys, you see that swath right there? And it looks kinda shitty, kinda blackish in spots. You would think for something that's only been cut for like 2 days, it should be really green. Well, if you remember, and for any of you that are new, I seeded this mid-July last year with oats, and we did not cut or bale the oats. So that is oat stubble straw that was standing, and now we're raking it and it's going into the bale. It'll add it's actually not a bad feed source because it'll add roughage into the feed source for the cows. Like lots of guys feed straw to their cows, so, and this is already added in, mixed in. So, but it's been sitting out in the field here for a year. So now we're gonna clean by raking. We're pulling a lot of that straw up off the ground, and we're basically, just bear with me guys, corner here. Anyways, so yeah, we're pulling that off the ground, we're cleaning the ground up. So the whole idea of leaving that oats stand all winter, I could have cut it in spots. It was a really nice crop, it would have been really good green feed. Then in other spots it was really thin and really light in my estimation. So what we ended up doing, we left it, and my thought was if we don't have much rain in the spring, or we don't get much snow, it'll help catch the snow and give us a good snow cover. So to save us from winter kill, and also catch that snow and give it that spring moisture needed to get the stuff going again. So that was the whole idea there. So, and I think it worked out for the best for us. Personal opinion. Anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go. We're gonna keep on raking, and I'll bring you back a little later. Well, she never did dry down enough last night for us. Cocksucker. You know, in June, we couldn't get a day when it wasn't fucking 60K, and I think I said this before. And here we are, mid-July. Now we can't get a day with wind over friggin' 20K. And this stuff, it just won't do nothing. She's a limp fucking noodle. The leaf wants to fall off, but the stem is just too goddamn wet. Be beautiful hay if I can get it baled. And they're calling for friggin' rain for tonight. Like even here where it was not driven on, it just doesn't want to go. And if you can't go, you can't go. What's the guy to do? I'm not going to rake more of this stuff and have it friggin' getting rained on too. It's better off laying flat like that than like this. But the field is wanting to green up again and get going. Cocksucker. It's 6:45 in the morning right now. And there is not much of a breeze, let me tell you. Anyway, talk to you all later. Alrighty guys, well we're back out here. I was over at my buddy Bob's place. He blew a bearing in his baler, and it's a New Holland 688, and asked me to come and give him a hand getting it back together. So this stuff is right here is dry enough, but there's other areas where it's borderline. There's areas where it's too dry, there's areas where it's borderline, so I'm just gonna fucking go. We'll make a couple bales, we'll test them, and if I'm sitting in that 16, 18, even 19, I think I'm gonna keep on rocking. So 16 would be nice. If it was cured right down, everything, and dry, and then we come back at nighttime and bale, well, that's external plant moisture, not internal plant moisture. Then I'd be baling at friggin' 24, 25, hell, even 30, and I would keep going. But that's not the situation here, so. Anyways. Right now it's a big 0 because we haven't made a bale yet. So, just gotta start her up and get going. I'm gonna go out and I'll make a bale or two, and when I go to test them, I'll bring you guys for the ride. Alrighty, so we made one bale, kicked them out. $14.6. That's my 6th spot that I tested. So unless my tester is screwed up, we're gonna keep going. Now, right, if you look, you can basically see the Dodge right there. Straight across from the Dodge is basically where we were parked. We've gone about, I don't know, 200 yards to make this bale. We got to get to an area on the far side of the field where it's up against the trees and around these bush bluffs, and we can check that stuff. But I think we'll be good to go. So, fun. Let's get after it and get something done. Talk to y'all later. 68 inches, guys. I did check 2 more bales, and the highest I got was 16. So we're definitely dry. For whatever reason, that stem feels wet, but it's not. It's saying it's good to go. And that buzzer means it's time to kick the bale out. It's done twine tying. Tying with twine, not net. I know the big popular thing is net, but myself, I actually prefer twine over the net. I guess I'm kind of like Ranching Sodak. He claims he prefers the twine over top of net also. So, yeah. Anyways, go check out Ranching Zodak. Yeah, we're just going to try getting all of this stuff baled up here as much as we possibly can before potential rain comes. So I'm going to keep giving her. We'll talk to you guys later. Alrighty, guys. Well, we got 3 rounds done. Or 2.5. And now it's way too fucking dry. I'm like 9% moisture. It's just that wind. Today we got the wind and now it's dried right down to absolutely nothing. I tried to keep going, and I know my New Holland balers don't like super dry content. And yeah, flipped a belt, tore the lace. Then that belt got wrapped in the top drive roller because I wasn't paying attention, and I should have been, and ended up screwing up 2 other belts. Got them all wrapped in the friggin' into each other, and ended up having to cut them into pieces to get them off the get them out of the baler. So I'm off to buy some new belts. I have one. And I need 2 more, son of a bitch. And it's nobody to blame but myself. That's how she goes. Anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go. I gotta go to Weyburn to get a couple of belts because Mazer Group is sold out. So yeah, fun. We'll catch you guys later. Okay guys, well, went to Weyburn, picked up a couple of brand new belts, and we got 3 new belts on the baler. I did not spread them out like a guy should be. Usually what they say is, if you're not replacing all your belts, shift your new ones to the outside edge, and your weaker ones to the middle. I just said fuck it, and I put them all on exactly, all on one side. All 3 of them are on one side. Am I gonna have lopsided bales? I don't know, maybe. Guess we'll find out. But I didn't even bother turning PTO on yet. So how she's gonna run, I have no idea. We'll get to the field and give her a go. Walking through the grass in the yard, it's short. The grass is short in the yard because we cut it with a lawnmower, but I'm getting moisture on my booties, so I should be good to go. So we're gonna try getting the rest of this stuff that was raked all baled up and see how I feel after that. Last night, 2 nights in a row, haven't slept where the fuck because of this hay bothering me. Afraid it's gonna get rained on, and it wasn't wanting to dry. Then it dries to a popcorn fucking fart. So yeah, that's been bothering me quite a bit. But anyway, I guess we just got to get back into the groove of our nighttime baling like we did last year. And so I'm gonna let you go when we get to the field and I fire this thing up. That's when I'll bring you guys back.